housing market is heating up in Rhode Island. You may remember we reported yesterday that Cumberland was named the 8th hottest zip code for buyers by Realtor.com. The study was published on Monday and it's gotten a lot of attention. Cumberland is actually the only Rhode Island zip code to make the top 50. To find out why, we're speaking with the author, Hannah Jones. She's a senior economic research analyst at Realtor.com. Hannah, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
So Hannah, let's start by having you explain how you guys kind of got to this top 10 list. What factored into these rankings?
Right, so every year we take a look at the hottest zip codes in the country, and what we mean by the hottest zip codes in the country are areas where they're seeing a lot of buyer demand and really fast home sales. And so we look at the areas that are seeing the fastest home sales and the most buyer demand, and those are our hottest zips.
So does that typically mean that it's difficult to get a house in those areas? Because we know that right now in all of Rhode Island, inventory is very low.
Yes, definitely. Low inventory does really drive that buyer demand per property much higher and mean faster home sales. And so in a lot of these markets, it is really challenging for buyers to find a home to secure.
Now, that was the only zip code in Rhode Island, but there were plenty in Massachusetts. New England overall very dominant in your findings. Why do you think that is?
Right, so you hit the nail on the head. Supply is really a big challenge in the Northeast. So there are more restrictive zoning laws than in other parts of the country, and also less space to build and to grow. And so because of that, inventory just hasn't recovered to those pre-pandemic levels. So that means that buyer demand does continue to outpace inventory, which means that homes sell very quickly. They see a lot of demand and prices continue to rise.
Now, does the data look at who's buying the homes in these areas?
So we can't look specifically at who the buyers are, but we can get some ideas from looking at down payment data and other sorts of demographic data. So we do see that buyers in these areas are putting down bigger down payments and also tend to have higher credit scores, higher incomes, and might be a little bit older. And so it really gives this picture of buyers who maybe have more home equity and are able to come to the table with an all cash offer or a large down payment and can win a multiple bid scenario that way.
So it seems like the new home buyers trying to get into the market are still having trouble. In previous years, when you've done things like that, has that changed, or is that what you typically find?
So definitely in the last few years, we have found this movement towards more financially prepared, higher earning buyers, because high mortgage rates have really made it very challenging to be a first-time home buyer in the market. And so we do see more repeat buyers and fewer first-time home buyers.
Makes sense. All right, Hannah. Well, we can only hope that those rates will come down soon. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate your insight into this.
Thanks for having me, Tamara.
And if you'd like to watch